You guys leave me any breakfast or what? Oh yeah, a whole bunch. So the wife went ahead and put a crack in her windshield. I'm gonna try and fix it. I got one of those kits from O'Reilly's. We'll see if we can get that a little crack taken care of before it starts to splinter all over the place. We gotta do some car shuffling though. Gotta get this thing out because you're supposed to do the epoxy in the shade. So let me get this thing out real quick. So these little kits, they cost about 15 bucks. Pretty straightforward and simple. Gives you pictures with directions. Very simple. You can Google a video on how to do it and save yourself whatever, you know, some of these auto glass companies would charge you to do it. And they sell these right at O'Reilly. So if you have a small rock chip, I'll show you the results when this is done. But you could easily handle it yourself. It's not hard at all. This is what the wife needs her pickup truck for. She's always doing some sort of projects, and this whole thing gets it done. So there's still a small imperfection, but I think it's because it's a resin injection, and it's flat though. So the important thing is it's not going to expand or anything like that. Doesn't look too bad. So just doing some preventive maintenance on the car before we get it out there racing next week. This is the oil that I've been using. It's just Royal Purple 1030, and then I run a shorty filter, even though I do have the oil filter relocation bracket for now. So I just got the Wix filter. It's a 51056. And that's a cross reference for this STP oil filter that's on it. So if you do have this kit, the STP S3512 is a filter that'll fit on your foxbody if you don't have the filter relocation bracket and the On3 turbo. I just put these zip ties on the other day. I don't know how I'm gonna recover from that. This is kind of a big moment here because if you guys don't remember, not too long ago, at the beginning of this year, this car tore up a thrust bearing. And so, you know, all this right here, if the oil comes out clean, no sparkles, I'm gonna cut open the oil filter too. Hopefully this can be really the last thing we do to prep the car to get out there and race at Ford Takeover. So I guess here goes moment of truth. So far it looks pretty good. Now I know this isn't the most ideal way to do this, but this should give us an idea of how the thrust bearing is wearing. If you don't remember last time, we had 65 thousandths of play in the crankshaft. So what I'm going to do really quick is pry against the crankshaft, and that'll give us, and this dial indicator will show us how many thousandths play. Hopefully it's no more than 10 thousandths. So it looks like we're right at 10 thousandths. I'm okay with that. I think when I set it to 8, so you figure a little bit of wear, 10 thousandths is right where we need to be. Hopefully it stays there as the race season goes on. I'll keep checking it, and if it gets too crazy, we'll just end up pulling this engine out again. Alright, so I cut the top off the filter. Let's see how it looks. To be quite honest, it looks pretty good. I don't see any metal. Let's check the bottom. There's a relief valve spring. That's actually kind of crazy. Normally they just have like a little stamped steel. This STP uses a spring. That's So we do got a little bit of bearing material at the bottom. So we've got a little bit of bearing material in the bottom, but the entire engine was put back together. It had all new everything, all new mains, all new rod bearings. So we'll see the next time I change the oil. What I'll probably do is, you know, maybe another month or so, change the oil again. And then we'll see where it's at. The amount of oil that was in there should go down, I would assume. Because yeah, we checked the thrust. You know, we're sitting at 10 thousandths, which is entirely normal. So we look good. I'm comfortable to go out to Ford Takeover and race this car in its current state. Yeah, we'll just keep an eye on it. We really only need this engine to get through this whole year. And then I've got different plans for next year, but for now, we're good to go. Let me go ahead and finish this up. We'll fire it off and make sure we got no leaks or nothing like that. Alright guys, so it's got good oil pressure, no leaks, so we found a small amount of shavings in the oil filter. I'm confident it's going to be okay. You know, like I said, I'm going to run this oil through it probably about half the time that I allowed the other oil to go through the engine, and then I'll go ahead and drain the oil out, change the filter, cut the filter open again, and we should see less to no, you know, it was very fine shavings. You know, it looked like a small little pool at the bottom of the oil filter, but coming out of the pan I really didn't see anything. Saw a nice little stream of fuel coming out. You know, very fine particles, which I've had that happen on the LS1 I built, the Coyote that I built, and then eventually I'm just going to keep an eye on it. I've learned my lesson from that last time I had this engine out. when we tore up the thrust bearing. Things are looking good for Ford Takeover. We shouldn't have any problems getting there. We should be there Saturday. Won't be there Friday because I got work and stuff. So Saturday we'll be there at the track, hanging out, racing, stuff like that. I mean, as for the car, everything seems fine. Everything seemed okay after that last track day. Engine's not making any weird noises. Everything's looking good, so we can really only go down from here. The only issue continually that this car has, and has had since the day that I built it, is when the engine gets very hot, it starts to surge at idle. And I have a feeling it's within, I think this PIP sensor maybe is going bad. Because, I mean, it gets a pretty good amount of heat in it as we're going down the track and doing passes, and then that's when the idle will start kind of surging. When it's cold or colder, it doesn't really get that. It doesn't really happen at all. But once we get around 200 degrees, that's when the idle will kind of surge up and down and take a little bit of time to settle. It'll eventually settle, but it just takes some time. Another reason why I'm really not worried about the shavings in the oil filter, we still have excellent oil pressure. I mean, we saw 61 as soon as it started, hovered around mid 50s, high 50s, and when we go down the track, it's been holding 55 or so the whole way. So that's for everything else here at the garage. Still got the C10. I've got the parts over here. I got some stuff over there for it, but waiting on the block to come back from the machine shop, and then we can get this thing driving on the road. Like I said, it's not going to be anything crazy. We're just going to show us fixing it, and my stepson's going to end up driving that truck. I said I've had experiences where I've had this happen on a fresh build, and then after 1 or 2 oil changes it goes away. But it still kind of gives you an unnerving feeling. And I mean, I'm still going to run the car either way. We're going to get out there and we're going to race. We got the race locked in with Brutal, which should be really fun now because he's he had some issue with his 302, so he went to a 347. Which I think is awesome. I think that's going to be a much better race between me and him, and I'm thoroughly looking forward to that. If you don't remember, I said in one of my previous videos, if we could have a race that ends neck and neck and somebody wins by a nose, I would rather that more than either me going out there and putting 2 cars on him, or vice versa. Him putting cars on me. So 347 should be stout, but I think it'll honestly be between the two of us. I think it's a good matchup because now as long as he can get that thing running right, and I think he's getting it professionally tuned too. He's got that with the 70mm. I got the 331 with the 76mm. My car's also gutted, so it's probably a little lighter, and it's the LX. So either way, I mean, I don't care if we win or lose. I mean, obviously, yeah, we want to win, but I just want to have fun. I think the one advantage that I have also is the fact that I've fully learned my car already. I know what works, what doesn't. I've got the launch right back. I've basically have played with the launch a little bit between all the times I've been at the track, and I have it nailed down. I know exactly what the brake will hold. I know exactly what RPM to get it up to. I was kind of going up and down between 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, back to 1.6. My last few passes I was consistent 1.5s, like 158, 157, 159. So I've got the launch down, and then I've got the suspension dialed down. I know exactly what's shock settings, and it's all going to depend on the track prep down at that track also. If there's a whole bunch of cars out there with street tires tearing up the track before us, that might affect how we launch. But the setup that I have now, I do pretty well. Even that day where the track was not prepped at all, and we had a lot of dust. The car skated all over the place, but I didn't have any issues. I was able to drive through and get down the track. So I'm confident with however the track's set up, the car will go down, and I think we'll put in a good pass. My plan for Ford Takeover is if I can get one, we'll get one pass, and then shakedown pass probably on 8 pounds, and then from there we'll see if we can get our race in, or you know, maybe somebody else wants to race me, or I'll race him and somebody else. But the boost is going to go up from there. Probably to the same setting that I was at the other day, so you guys will see what it ran. And when I say it went much faster, I mean it really did. And so I think once we get to that taller gear, which I have incoming, that car is really going to perform well. Anyway, guys, been wanting to do something a little different with the videos. Kind of for a while. I'm not really a huge personality, and I kind of put on this fake energy vibe, which maybe some people like. I'm more of a mellow guy, very chill, very relaxed. So I'm gonna be trying something out a little different with the videos lately. Last time I kind of added like a little, intro montage thing. Yeah, kind of just incorporate more of a personal feel. A little bit more of my personal life. Nothing crazy. Yeah, that's really what I've always wanted to do. But I felt the need to kind of inject this, like, let me just throw the work in there, make it as fast as possible, and be done with it. And it kind of took the fun out of it for me. So I'm going to kind of mellow the channel out. Well, one, we're not going to mellow out as far as racing. We're going to be racing. We're going to be testing. We're going to be doing wrenching. We're going to be doing all that stuff. The channel is just going to be a little more mellow. And, I'm just going to be myself. I'm not going to put on that fake... kind of uppity beat, because it might sound weird, but to me it's just exhausting. Regardless, like I said, the channel's not changing as far as car content, truck content, racing content. It's all staying the same. I'm just going to really change up the formatting. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.